What's up and welcome back to the Gridiron with Chance Aspen. Make sure you subscribe down below, like this video, comment. Now, enjoy this video. Alright, welcome back to week 14 of my 5 NFL thoughts. If you don't know by now, I give you 5 NFL thoughts every single week, and this is week 14. Let's get into it. Thought number 1. If Sam Darnold plays like he played this week, Minnesota can win it all. He was fantastic. And this is the quarterback play they need. If Minnesota is going to have a chance to beat the Detroit Lions or beat the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to need this quarterback play out of Sam Darnold. We already know he has the weapons in Jefferson, Addison, Aaron Jones. He's got an elite play caller in Kevin O'Connell. But can Sam Darnold consistently play at a high level? I would argue he's playing at a top 8 level this year, which is something we have not been able to say throughout Sam Darnold's career. And if he can continue to play like this with that defense and the weapons he has, the O-line he has, I truly believe Minnesota is going to have a chance to win it all. They are that good of a football team everywhere else. All they need is Sam Darnold to show up and play at a high level. But will he? Because we've seen some weeks where Sam has looked really good, and then we've seen the bad New York Jets Sam Darnold a little bit. He's just not that consistent yet. And that's something that worries me. If we see the high-level Sam Darnold, I think they can win it all. If we see the New York Jets Sam Darnold, then no, I don't think they can win it all. They need that high-level Sam Darnold who can make plays out of the pocket, run the offense that Kevin O'Connell wants them to run the football with Aaron Jones. If they can do those 3 things, if Sam can do those 3 things and manage the game at a high level, then I truly believe Minnesota is a top team in the NFL. Thought number 2, get Bryce Young some help. We're finally starting to see Bryce Young show why he was that number 1 overall pick out of Alabama. He's finally starting to prove that he can play in this league, that he could potentially be a star in this league. But his receivers have been not helping him at all. Besides Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen has been great. Everybody else has not been great. Especially their first pick, Xavier Legette. He has been awful. He dropped the game-winning touchdown last week against the Eagles. That's poor. He dropped the game-winning touchdown against the Eagles this week. That can't happen. If you want to be that go-to wide receiver, you need to make that play for your quarterback. Bryce Young needs those plays to be made by his weapons because he's starting to make those plays that we saw out of Alabama. Extending plays with his legs, escaping the pocket, quick release, throwing with anticipation, making all these high-level plays, but then he doesn't have a receiver that they drafted high to make those plays. I want to see Carolina. I believe Carolina has now bought into Bryce Young. Now what Carolina needs to do is they need to go get him some weapons. Guys that he can trust 100% to make plays when they need a play to be made. And I don't believe Xavier Legette is that guy. Back 3 weeks in a row now, he has not made the plays that number 1 receivers make. And that's what Bryce Young needs. He's proven that now he can play at an NFL level. Bryce has proven that. Now, Carolina needs to do their job and go get him some help. Thought number 3. The Buffalo Bills showed some weaknesses against the Rams, which is rare. We have not seen a lot of weaknesses out of the Buffalo Bills so far this season. But we did against the Rams. The Rams exposed some things. One with their defense. Their run defense was awful. The Rams ran the ball down their throat consistently all day long. And then they had to try and bring extra guys into the box to try and stop the run. And guess what that does? That opens up the pass game, and now their whole defense destroyed. If you can't stop the run and you have to bring extra guys down, now the pass game opens up, and you might as well give up because you don't stand a chance. So this Buffalo Bills defense I don't think is as good as we thought it was. I think the Rams exposed some things that you can do against this Bills defense. If you can run the ball on them consistently, then they're going to start bringing people more into the box, and it'll open up your pass game. And against teams like Baltimore, who we know can run the football and also throw, I know they beat Kansas City, but we know Kansas City can run the ball and throw as well. If those teams can do that against the Bills, then I think the Bills could be in trouble. They're maybe not as elite as I might have thought they were. I still think they're a very good football team, and they should be one of the favorites. But they're maybe not as good as I thought they were. The second thing, they couldn't run the ball. All year, they've been able to run the ball at a high level with James Cook. Yes, Josh Allen ran the ball well, but I don't count that as running the football when your quarterback just makes plays out of the pocket and runs for huge yardage. When they were just lining up to run the football, they could not do it consistently all day. It was a struggle from the get-go. So those two things that they've shown some vulnerability on. They couldn't run the ball on offense, besides when Josh Allen made heroic plays, and they couldn't stop the run. And when they did stop the run, the only reason why they stopped the run is because they had to bring more people into the box. The moment the Rams saw that, they went to the pass game, and they had big chunk plays down the field. So I still believe Buffalo is a really good football team, but they're maybe not as good as I think I thought they were. Thought number 4. The Kansas City Chiefs are so good in gotta-have-it moments. Again, this week against the Chargers, who are a good football team. Kansas City's offense struggled for most of the day. Most of the game, they struggled. Most of the game, they did not play well. Most of the game, Patrick Mahomes didn't play that great. The O-line was awful. But when they had to have a drive to go win the football game with 4 minutes left, they did it and they won the game. That's what makes them so good. Because they're not blowing anybody out this year. They're not even more talented than everyone. But when they gotta have it, whether it's on offense or on defense or on special teams like we've seen, they make those plays at the end of the game that wins football games. They're inevitable in those situations, in gotta-have-it situations. In my opinion, they're probably better than the Patriots dynasty in gotta-have-it situations. Because of Patrick Mahomes, because of Andy Reid, Chris Jones on the defensive side of the ball. When they need that big moment, when they need to make a play, they always make the play. They're just fantastic. It's hard to really describe because you think that they're vulnerable because they're in so many of these close games. But I think if they're in a close game, they might just win it because they're so good at winning close games. I know I said earlier in the year that eventually it's going to catch up to them. But they've shown me that they don't lose those games. When they have to win a close game, when they have to have a drive, when they have to get a stop, when they have to block a field goal, they do it time and time and time again. So they may just win a Super Bowl by just winning one-score games, by just being clutcher than any team we may have ever seen. But we'll see. My 5th and final thought here in Week 14, here it is. The Kirk Cousins era might be over already in Atlanta. And I think it should be. Look, Kirk Cousins is clearly not the same player he was against Minnesota. He already wasn't an athletic quarterback. We already knew that. He was an in-the-pocket guy, which I think nowadays you need somebody who can move around a little bit more, unless his name is Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, who can just destroy you with his brain. But Kirk Cousins isn't on that level when it comes to his brain. So if he can't move and he's stationary, that puts a lot of pressure on the offensive line and the receivers to get it open fast. So I think it might be time for Atlanta to go to Michael Penix Jr. Now, I don't think they want to go to Michael Penix Jr. because I think they want to keep Michael Penix Jr. till next year or the year after. They kind of want to do what the Chiefs did with Mahomes. Don't play him at all. Doesn't matter how bad your starting quarterback's playing. He's a next year or the year after plan. But Kirk Cousins has been so bad. The Atlanta Falcons have the chance to win their division. They're still in the playoff hunt. It's not like they're a terrible football team. They have no chance to make the playoffs. They have a chance to make the playoffs. They have a really good defense. They have good weapons around Kirk Cousins. They just need somebody to play high-level quarterback for them. And Michael Penix, we don't know if he can play in the NFL yet. He hasn't proven anything yet. So I don't want to act like Michael Penix is the star football player yet. We don't know. But let's at least see what he can do. Because we clearly know what Kirk Cousins can do now. Not very much. He's been awful. His last 4 games, he's thrown 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That's pathetic. And it's unfair to the rest of the Falcons players. The Falcons are a good football team. Now, I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs. More than likely, they're going to be one and done. But I think it's time that they go to Michael Penix Jr. But that's my NFL thoughts. Again, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, and have an awesome day.